Oh my God. What's going on, YouTube? I hope you're all doing well. Um, I hope you're all well. It's been an amazing week for me, and I'm almost like glad the week is almost over. Um, let's see. There we go. Um, Guys, how have you been? What's going on, Rich? What's your scent of the day? What is your scent of the day? I'm curious. I'm wearing. Damn. Before I even get into that, what's going on, YouTube? I'm that clone guy E, and this is Simply Put Sense. And on this channel, I talk about some of the best and worst fragrances on the market today. And my goal is to help you save time and money. So do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be aware of when my fragrances drop. I'm always coming live from Bergdorf Goodman. I'm here in Bergdorf's between 6 and 7 on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. This is my 20-something show, and I'm glad to be here with you all. So, Rich, what is your fragrance of the day? Caron Sport. Go off, bro. Of course, that is definitely one of my favorite fragrances for the summer. A lot of people don't really focus on it, which I love because when things are not focused on, I pay attention. When fragrances are not popular, I pay attention because my goal and something that I'd like to share with so many of you, my audience, is to focus on options that allow you to stand out, smell interesting, not smell like everyone else, and not remind others of others. You want people to think of you when they smell your scent on your skin, not other people, if you can help it. So I always like to share with you all interesting options. But of course, Caron Sport, that is, oof, great fragrance. And it's a fragrance that I think really shows off great taste. Typically people who like Caron Sport, they have good taste. Georgie's, what's good, brother? I own that one too. Nice. You own Caron Sports as well. Sport as well. Gucci Guilty Absolute. What? Scent of the day, Gucci Guilty Absolute. Go off. Go off. I like that fragrance. One of my favorite Gucci Guilties out of the group. A really beautiful experience. Very, very sexy fragrance. I'm sure you get a lot of compliments with that on your skin. Gucci is an interesting brand. They recently hired, well, they haven't recently, but they've hired Alberto Morillas to be like their in-house perfumer. And I don't know how to react to that because a lot of the fragrances from Gucci I love, and then a lot of them I find not as good. The niche collection within Gucci, I feel like it's very underwhelming compared to, like, okay, they smell great, they just don't stick, they just don't last, they just don't have that it factor to me. Like for instance, that YSL has with their Le Vestiaire collection, or Armani Prive has with that collection. I feel like Gucci's main line just doesn't hold water compared to a lot of other fragrances. You have two backups to get the hell out of here, Georgie's. First of all, I love your name. uh, Georgie's is funny to me because like that sounds like my last name. Funny stuff. But anyway, uh, I gotta be honest with you. The fact that you have two backup bottles of Caron Sport is awesome to me. Really, really brilliant, brilliant idea. You know what's crazy? That fragrance is still being sold on the Lalique website for $120, and yet you can purchase it for under 40. I find that so interesting that Caron Sport is so much money on the Lalique website and yet so inexpensive on discounters. And I have a feeling the fact that they're in discounters, I'm sure Lalique knows about it. So it's almost like if you're not aware that that fragrance is inexpensive, you're likely going to spend the 120 to own it. But how many people are going to? It's a very interesting thing that Lalique did with that scent. I find it fascinating. I'm wearing Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo. Well, that's a funny thing, guy, because like I'm about to talk about a Uomo from Ferragamo. I really do like the Ferragamo line. Uomo is a great collection of fragrances. They were amongst my boy Carlos's awesome options. He loved that brand. And I gotta tell you, like, I really feel like Ferragamo does a lot of fragrances that are worthy of someone's attention, in my opinion. I think they do really, really well done scents that are, you know, easy breezy, a lot more accessible, you know, not too crazy, but really, really cool. And then we're about to get into one of those in a little bit. Scent of the day, Elysium. It is awesome for the 30 minutes it lasts. Oh, bro, spray your clothes with that fragrance. Like, get it all over your clothes. It will stick. It will stay a lot longer. I found Elysium stayed on me for at least 6 hours, and there were times when I could smell it on clothes even longer. So I find Elysium kind of interesting. Some people say it's short-lived. Some people say it lasts on them. I guess it really depends on your skin chemistry. You know, your skin will make or break how that fragrance acts and lives, which makes sense. Sean, go ahead. Sean's Hashivat by Nishan. Really great option. Probably the best Aventus alternative ever made, in my opinion. Hashivat it takes what Aventus does, and to a lot of people it improves on it. Like, I look at Hashivat as Aventus intense, to be honest with you. It could be easily a flanker. Like, if Hashivat came out by Creed, it would make so much sense. And it would literally be the Aventus Intense fragrance out of that line. But guys, I have a really, like, I think I mentioned this to you a bunch of streams ago because I was like the first person to break this knowledge. But Creed is coming out with the new Aventus, guys. And I thought it was going to be called Aventus Elixir. But from what I understand, it's going to be called Aventus Absolute or Absolute. Something like that. But bottom line, it's going to be a new Aventus coming out towards the fall of this year. Get ready. It will be in Bergdorf Goodman. If you guys want to smell the Aventus, the new Aventus fragrance, let me know. It will be a limited edition, of course, because Creed is going to go, I think, the effing fabulous, kind of like the, you know, the Amber Absolute route with Tom Ford, come out with a new fragrance that everybody's going to want to hound and buy like that without even thinking, without even smelling it even. And then once you've sold out of the bottles and it creates this really crazy mood of people wanting to get it again and again and again and getting tired of buying it for like $800 on eBay, they're probably going to come out with a new release of Aventus Absolute just to keep people a little bit on that string. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel like it's going to go. But Aventus Cologne is not going, it's going to be 3 Aventus. Aventus Cologne, Aventus Absolute. I have a feeling though the Absolute doesn't, I'm curious how they make the Absolute, because Aventus batches could be the Absolute version. Like, there's a lot of Aventus with that birchy experience, that heavy, dark, woody experience, that smoky. So you have your smoky batches, your fruity batches. Those 2 batches could literally be flankers on their own. So if you have a smoky batch of Aventus and a fruity batch of Aventus, you literally have flankers of Aventus. But yeah, Absolute's about to drop, so Get ready for that. What do you guys think about the new Aventus Absolute? Like, does that sound interesting to you? Hit me up in the comment section. If Aventus Cologne, if Aventus Absolute sounds like something you would be interested in smelling and wearing, hit one in the hit one. I'm really curious. If it's something you would not want to smell and you can't wait to skip it, hit number 2. I'm really curious to see how many of you are excited about the new Aventus Absolute. And let me know if you think it's even necessary. Do you think it made sense to come out with like an intense version of Aventus? I mean, clearly it does kind of make sense because Hasivat, for instance, created a whole new lane because that fragrance is so much more intense compared to Aventus. So maybe this was something that Creed needed to do to compete with the people that are stealing their scent, you know? But yeah, fascinating stuff. Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo is my favorite scent. Wow, I get you, bro. It's a great fragrance. Yeah, pretty awesome scent. So guys, I wanted to get into a couple of options. I wanted to talk to you about a few really beautiful fragrances that I feel like deserve a lot more love and attention. A couple of one of these fragrances that I want to talk to you about are, well, first of all, I'm bugging out. Forgive me. This is what you get when it's live, guys. So bottom line, I want to share with you all some options. I'm going to share with you 5 fragrances for the summer that I think will be great considerations. We're going to dive deep into them, spray them. I'll give you my impression of them. A couple of them you've heard of, a couple of them you haven't. All of them you've probably heard of. But a couple of them, well, one of them is very new. So I'm really excited to talk about these fragrances. And I'm going to share, just to start off, the first fragrance I want to talk to you all about is from the house, the Maker, which is the brand that I manage in Bergdorf, Goodman. And God, I love that fragrance so much. And the fragrance is called Libertine, right? Libertine is a fruity fragrance forward with citrus. Not a lot of people know this fragrance exists, which is why I like to talk about it on my channel every now and then. Yes, I do sell this fragrance line. Yes, I do sell this fragrance at Bergdorf, but you don't have to buy this fragrance from me if you don't want to feed into the idea of me selling to you. It's not my goal to sell to you. It's my goal to put you on. I worked at Atelier Cologne for years, and no one on my audience even knew unless you stepped into the store and happened to see me that day. I never talk about brands, that's not my focus to make money off my audience. But I do think this is a scent a lot of you need to know exists. I think this is a really easy breezy, natural experience that's perfect for the heat and will have you smelling absolutely amazing and clean. So Libertine is basically orange, lemon zest, ginger, hibiscus, and cedar. Now, ginger, cedar, citrus fragrances are very common. Everyone knows this, right? But one of the things that I find about Libertine that makes it less typical is just how clean, fresh, and zesty it smells. Yes, there are other fragrances that are clean and zesty, absolutely. But one of the things I just feel about the Maker's fragrance is just that this scent is just a breath of fresh air, sunshine in a bottle. It's grapefruit, it's mandarin, it's just awesome. It's just really an attractive experience that has a decent longevity for a natural citrus. You'll get at least 5 hours from Libertine. People will smell this on you and it will be a very easy fragrance to complement, especially on a hot day. You want something refreshing, something very alive, something that feels like it moves with you, something that feels very impressive for a citrus fragrance. I would definitely consider Libertine. You're not gonna smell weird. You're not gonna smell crazy. You're just gonna smell, refreshing, and you're just gonna smell amazing. You're gonna smell like I wanna smell this on a person when it's hot outside. It'll make me feel less warm. So this is a fragrance that I definitely think people need to consider. It's an unsung fragrance, a fragrance most people don't know about. You're not gonna find this scent everywhere, and that's why I want you guys to get your nose on it. If you want a sample, you can just email me at el-aton@themaker.com. That's el-aton at themaker.com, at themaker.com. Just send me a request. You will get the samples you're looking for. I don't charge you guys for samples. It is not a prerequisite to buy something for me to get samples. It is just my joy to offer you guys a great experience. And if I can offer you a great experience in samples, you're gonna get those samples. All you have to do is just let me know, request it, you're getting them, period. You know, I love my audience, so I want you guys to really enjoy some cool things. And yes, please don't bear with me, because when people request samples, I have a long list of addresses to go through, and it's a lot to like create a sample pack for folks. So I really want you guys to smell this fragrance. Please request samples if you can. You're gonna get some crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And those samples are gonna be expensive, and you're not gonna pay a dime for them. And anytime I send you samples, you're never gonna pay for them. I am never gonna ask for money to send you anything. Again, it's just my pleasure to be as much of help as I can. And hopefully I don't get like 1,000 requests, because you guys are gonna be waiting until next year till that shit happens, you know? But you get me, you know? So yeah, guys, Libertine from the house, The Maker. Let me give you guys an idea of what this fragrance is, and what it smells like, and what it's doing. I'm really curious to, I'm really curious to show you guys my screen. So this is what the fragrance looks like. Came out in 2021. It's a fresh fruity fragrance. I would consider it more of a fresh citrus, and it has above average longevity. I really dig Parfumo, because Parfumo gives really great information, and a lot of the times their actual ingredient list is more accurate than Fragrantica. So I love to use this. I love to use this website, guys. Parfumo.net and Parfumo.com, Parfumo.net. Parfumo is the damn website, and it is insane. Anyway, vetiver, cedar, mandarin, hibiscus, ginger. It comes off like almost like a hibiscus tea after about 2 hours on skin. And I just really find it awesome. It's considered modern and youthful compared to people who've talked about it on Parfumo. It's both masculine and feminine. I really don't feel like this fragrance is both pretty and handsome. So in my opinion, men and women can equally wear it. Of course, this is how the Maker looks. And yeah, it's a sick hotel. I'm gonna be going to the Maker Hotel on July 12th. I'm gonna be doing it, I'm gonna be going to the hotel on a Wednesday. So I'm gonna be doing a live stream live from the Maker Hotel in July. I believe it's gonna be the 12th. I'll let you all know. But I'm excited because I'm gonna be filming in the fragrance cologne room. They have a fragrance room at the hotel where you can pick a fragrance out of 140 options. And I'm excited because I cannot wait to film in this room and smell all those fragrances. It's gonna be an absolute treat for me. But yeah, guys, Libertine again, #1 fragrance to consider for the summer. If you're loving citrus, you gotta smell it. It's just next level beautiful. The next fragrance that I wanna talk to you all about comes from the house of Caron. And guys, this fragrance I think is being discontinued, if it's not discontinued already, which is absolutely ridiculous. Caron is a brand that a lot of people don't really focus on because they have a lot of pedigree, and it's kind of like a line that comes across very mature. The fragrance that I want to share with you is called Caron Sport. Caron Sport. You know, I'm not going to go through the whole name. If you really want to go through the whole name, is Pour un homme de Caron Sport, or Caron Sport for men. It's a very beautiful, very clean, very underrated scent. I find this fragrance to be youthful but refined. It feels like a fragrance that is easy to wear, natural smelling. It kind of reminds me, guys, of something I'd want to eat. Like, it reminds me of like a lemon icy. Yeah. I really, really dig it. It has like it almost has like a lemon, like an Italian icy lemon flavor vibe. Like, it is brisk and absolutely beautiful. Great ratings for a fragrance that you'll find on Parfumo. Let me show you what this looks like. This fragrance is next level to me, guys. I talked about this fragrance for years. I've talked about it on my channel a lot. Not a lot, but I've mentioned it pretty often because I really feel like this fragrance is one of the best Caron fragrances for men under 30, 35, you know? I feel like this fragrance is something that a guy in his 20s can easily wear, and you're not gonna smell like the typical 25-year-old person, you know? You're gonna smell richer than a lot of people, and you're gonna smell a lot more interesting than a lot of people in the summer, especially where this fragrance shines. Now, just to give you an idea of what's in this scent: Indian verbena, French lavender, Italian green mandarin, grapefruit, Madagascan ginger. So this is another ginger cedar fruit experience. Completely different from Libertine, however. And that's because this fragrance has benzoin, tonka, ambergris, and white musk. There is something about this fragrance, in my opinion, that has a foot in the classic world and a foot in the modern world all at the same time. It's a very interesting perfume in that respect. It's not the longest lasting, especially if you were to look at the longevity. Based on what people experience, the longevity and the sillage are not loud, but this fragrance will easily stay on your skin, again, at least 5 hours, which is a great timetable for my skin. For me to wear fragrance, I feel like 5 hours is a great time for a hot weather focused fragrance. And Caron Sport for men, I think it's just a great consideration all around. And I'm just gonna read this guy's review because I'm curious what he thinks about it. And so it's a perfect summer masculine. I agree with that. Caron is criminally underrated, agree. A classic French house, pretty much a true niche brand, not available everywhere, pretty original, with perfumes as the main business. Facts, and facts. Pour-homme is one of the pillars of lavender masculines. Yes, this guy is very lavender heavy, but not as much as the original Caron Pour-homme, which has a ton of vanilla. This fragrance doesn't have vanilla. They took out the vanilla, and as this gentleman put, they removed the vanilla and instead added ambergris in the base. So there's a freshness to it. There is a powderiness to it. It does smell like a more masculine powder. Doesn't come across pretty, but women could easily wear this fragrance. It is going to smell slightly masculine on them, but I think women can easily wear this fragrance. Overall, a fresh, salty green, a bit sweet, excellent for summer and spring days with decent longevity and good projection in the first hour or so. An underrated gem that needs more attention and is highly recommended by me as a great and unique fragrance for this upcoming summer. Hugo Montes is a really good reviewer. You know, I've read a few of his reviews, and I find a lot of what he shares on Parfumo to be good advice and good suggestions. And I do agree with him. It's a very underrated gem from the House of Caron. This fragrance line, I think, is very underrated, and it shouldn't be. Like, this is a really beautiful experience. And as you can see, you know, for me, I've gotten through it, you know, not too much, but again, when I spray this, I only wear it I spray it like 4 times. I just really love this experience. Caron Sport, bottom line. Easy breezy, fresh and clean. Again, similar in terms of ingredients, but nowhere near a similar fragrance. They definitely express themselves totally different, even though a lot of the ingredients are in both of them. But yeah, really, really, really refreshing and beautiful. Guys, the next fragrance that I want to talk to you all about is from the house of Ferragamo, and I mentioned it that I was going to be talking about this fragrance. I found out about this fragrance from Carlos. Carlos put me onto this scent, and God, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it took me a while to really appreciate it. And this fragrance is featured in the video that I did with Carlos, my last video, well, the second to last video I ever did with Carlos that I posted on my YouTube channel. The fragrance that I'm going to be talking to you all about again is Ferragamo Uomo Urban Feel. Ferragamo Uomo Urban Feel. This probably has to be the most synthetic fragrance on this list. And it's not even a question. It is absolutely synthetic. This fragrance came out in 2019. There's very little natural going on in Urban Feel. However, I gotta tell you guys, I really, really appreciate the way this fragrance smells. I kind of look at it as in the same world as Eccentric Molecules, I Don't Know What by DS and Durga, Essential Molecule 01. It reminds me of these type of fresh aroma molecules, well, aroma chemicals that have multiple experiences within one note, you know? And this fragrance is extremely interesting. It was done by the master perfumer, Alberto Morillas. So yes, it smells like a lot of fragrances. This fragrance smells a lot. This reminds me, this is in a similar family of, I don't know what, Jeremy Fragrance's fragrance one, Office for Men. Yeah. Which Alberto also created. It smells a lot like Blue Gin from Maison Cyr, which is another fragrance Alberto Morillas made. And the fragrances from this collection, from the Uomo Salvatore, the Salvatore Ferragamo fragrances, there's nothing like this in that Uomo family. Like, this is definitely a very unique experience. There was another Uomo that was fresh and clean as well, but it did not do what this fragrance does. And the original Uomo, which was my favorite, had that really awesome, like, gourmand experience that I thought was very, very attractive. Now, Urban Feel. Urban Feel is just a very, very brisk, very unnatural experience. But I do find it attractive. And yes, I'm beating the hell out of it up by saying that it's not natural, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. All it has to do is smell great. All it has to do is work for the moments you need it for. And this fragrance works for the moments I need it for. It really, really works. So bergamot, sage, sea salt. Wood, sage, and sea salt? No, this doesn't smell anything like that. Driftwood, cumin, cedarwood, ambroxan, labdanum, frankincense, and patchouli. That is the main ingredients in this particular fragrance. Let me show you guys what are the notes. You've all heard about this fragrance. This is nothing new to most of you. But every time I smell this, I feel like it's better than the last time I smelled it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this fragrance keeps mixing within the bottle over time, and over time it just changes. I don't know what it is. When I first bought this fragrance, I don't know. I just found it to be extremely fake smelling, extremely basic. But there was a side to it that I liked, right? And it doesn't need to be over the top or crazy for me to like it. Like, this is just a really no muss, no fuss type of option for the heat. But the more I smell it, the more I like it now. Salvatore Ferragamo's Urban Feel is a very, very slept on fragrance. You're not gonna find this everywhere, but I honestly feel like it's just a very, very attractive experience, even though it's not a natural experience. It's just, a very easy to wear, beautiful scent that I love the warmth of the base when I smell it. So it comes across fresh, and then after a while, it almost sparkles even. And then as it dries down, it gets woodier, very, very deep. It's kind of like 2 to 3 fragrances in one fragrance, which I find really dope. Yeah. Ferragamo Urban Feel. You can literally buy this fragrance under $50 on discounters. I don't know if this fragrance is available in store. I like to tell you guys, like, that's going to be a topic that I want to talk about also. Like, buying fragrances in the store versus buying them on discounters, and the pluses and the minuses, the pros and the cons of doing that. Obviously, as collectors, we want the best deal possible, right? But every now and then, I'm gonna just kind of like foreshadow what I'm gonna be talking about in upcoming shows. But overall, I would say if you love a fragrance line, I think it's important to support that line. You don't have to buy everything at retail, but every now and then, support that brand by buying their fragrances directly from them or an official source, not a discounter. The reason why it's important to do that, guys, is because it's important to support the brands you like. It's important to keep them going, because the fragrance business is very, very iffy and very, very finicky. You're here today, you're gone tomorrow. I can literally crystallize that experience when I tell you I worked for an amazing brand at Atelier Cologne that is no longer in the United States or Canada. So if you're not supporting the brands that you love, if you're going the route of discounters to buy all the fragrances that you love, you are definitely going to be affecting the brands that you are attracted to in a negative way. Every now and then, tip the brands you love by spending your money with them directly. You know, it doesn't mean every fragrance, you know, because I understand, you know, I'm not in your pocket. You know, I can't tell you what you can afford and what you can't afford. You know that answer than I do. But I'll tell you from my perspective, it's important for me to, with my dollars, support the brand that I love and to avoid the fragrance brands that I don't, that I feel like need to step up. You know, your dollars literally dictate the fragrance industry. If you want to stop smelling crap, stop buying crap. You know, I'll just put it to you just like that. But it's just important for if you love a brand, support the brand. Experience like the fragrances that you love. Sometimes just buy them. You know, just buy them. You'll be doing the brand a service. You'll be doing your part to keep that brand viable. I'm gonna just let you know straight up like that, because it's a shame when companies you love fold or the fragrances that you love discontinue because the people that love it weren't supporting the brand and buying it directly. They were going through all these other sources. So use your dollars as a measuring stick. You know, vote with your dollars, like I say. Support the brands you love. But yeah, Urban Feel, I really dig it. It's really beautiful. This is a fragrance that you can buy at a discounter. I think it's best to buy this fragrance at a discounter. It's just really, really easy breezy. And I think this fragrance would also work really well for a guy under 25. Like first of all, this will work great on a man in his 50s. If you're a guy that's 50 years old, if you like a fresh fragrance, you're gonna smell great in this. But if you're a dude that is, let's say 22, 23, 24 years old, consider this fragrance because you're gonna smell a lot better than most guys in your age. And on top of that, a lot of guys don't even know this fragrance is an option. So you're not gonna smell typical, you know? It smells approachable, it smells familiar. People will smell this and go, that's not weird to my nose. It makes sense, I like that. But it's not a fragrance that you're gonna smell all the time. So guys, if you're under 30, wear this, consider it. It's really, really attractive. Uomo by Salvatore Ferragamo, Urban Feel. Great fragrance. So guys, the next fragrance that I wanted to talk to you about is a scent that I think I mentioned a little bit earlier in a couple of other streams, but I love to bring back fragrances that I love and talk about them as much as possible because fragrances that I think are worthy of talk I'm gonna talk about them, right? And the fragrance that I love from the brand that I love, boom, Terre d'Hermes Eau de Vrai. Terre d'Hermes Eau de Vrai. Now, guys, whew, is this a very beautiful fragrance? Um, I love the Terre d'Hermes Eau Très Fraîche, right? But I kind of like this. I kind of like this a little more. I didn't. I actually I said the opposite the last time I talked about this fragrance. But the more I smell it, the more I love it. The more I love it. I just found this fragrance to be one of the best grapefruit experiences in designer perfume. Period. In a designer bottle, there are very few fragrances that are on this level. Like very few fragrances that are on this level. This fragrance is just, it's magic. It's very few fresh citrus scents that is on this level. A lot of the fragrances a couple of the fragrances that I talk about, you could say, like I think Libertine is definitely in a world that this can be in as well. Like they're very impressive citrusy fragrances, but very few fragrances with grapefruit are made this well by a designer house. And Christine Nigel, which, you know, she's a perfumer, the new in-house perfumer for Hermes. I gotta tell you guys, I'm not the biggest fan. She did a couple of fragrances extremely well. This is one of them. Rhubarbe Eclart, definitely another. Gallop by Hermes, that leathery citrus fragrance, definitely another fragrance that she put her foot in. But overall, I've been a little bit disappointed with Christine Nigel. Like her reinterpretation of Terre d'Hermes, I think like the vetiver intense version of Terre d'Hermes, I think that's really crap to me compared to the original. I really don't like it at all. It actually smells a lot like Dior Homme, the new version of Dior Homme. But do I love this? Absolument. This fragrance is next level. It's so clean, it's so brisk, it lasts on skin a nice amount of time. Definitely long last compared to definitely longer lasting than Terre d'Hermes Eau Très Fraîche. I feel like Eau de Vrai just smells a little bit less stuffy, a little bit less serious. Eau Très Fraîche smells like a fragrance that I could imagine like a suit wearer putting on during the summer months. It's definitely like a business fragrance, in my opinion, right? But for the heat, like an office scent. This, though, I think a guy, you know, dressed in shorts and a t-shirt would smell really good in this fragrance. I think a guy wearing a suit would smell really good in this fragrance. It doesn't just fit like an upscale look. This fragrance, I think, can be, it's insane. And yes, Eau Intense Vetiver seems to be a love or hate for most. The reason why I don't like it is because to me it smells like a dumbed down version of Terre d'Hermes. To me, Terre d'Hermes beats it. It destroys it. Like the thing is, it's like if Intense Vetiver came out before it, I would probably like Intense Vetiver. But because I'm comparing Intense Vetiver to the original Terre d'Hermes, I just don't feel like there's a comparison. I just don't. And if I was Christine Nigel, I could never put out Intense Vetiver knowing that Terre d'Hermes Pure Parfum and Terre d'Hermes still exists. I just feel like that fragrance is such a fall off compared to those two and this. Yeah, like a huge fall off to me. Like I don't understand how Eau Intense Vetiver by Hermes is even comparable to the original. The original just let's put it like this. I would buy every Terre d'Hermes, Eau Très Fraîche, Eau de Vrai, Pure Parfum, Eau de Toilette. I would get all four of those before I would even consider Eau Intense Vetiver. I just think they're better vetiver fragrances, and they're better Terre d'Hermes options. So it's literally the 5 out of 5 Terre d'Hermes in my opinion. It's like the least attractive of all 5 of them that's ever been done. But this, this is impressive. This is awesome. I don't know what she did with this, but damn. This fragrance makes me appreciate Christine Angel. This fragrance makes me have hope that she's not an all. This fragrance makes me have hope that she's gonna come out with more things that I'll like, you know? Because I gotta say, I'm not into a lot of her options, bro. They smell good, but they don't. They smell good, but they just aren't what I would say. I don't feel like they measure up to Hermes. But again, a lot of the fragrances that she has made, they do measure up, but a lot of them don't. So I guess with Christine, it's hit or miss. But this one, she hit this out the park, guys. Terre d'Hermes, Eau de Vrai. The only grapefruit fragrance that I like in this world, like the only grapefruit fragrance from a designer house that I actually think is even close to this in terms of awesomeness is Light Blue Forever. Light Blue Forever by Dolce & Gabbana, guys. That citrus is seriously beautiful. Beautiful. But yeah. Eau de Vrai. Good fragrance. Great fragrance. Sexy citrus, which it's not easy to do, you know? And it also smells expensive, I gotta say. Yeah, this is a fragrance that I absolutely love. It's just next level to me. Terre d'Hermes Eau de Vrai, guys, definitely on point. Now, guys, actually, and before I go off into that, let me show you what's in Eau de Vrai. So, Terre d'Hermes Eau de Vrai was created in 2022 by Christine Angel. Here it is. And this fragrance has insane ratings, which makes sense to me. It's in the top 100 fragrances on the entire site of Parfumo.net based on the amount of people giving it high ratings. There's 395 people that average a rating of 8.4, which is really, really, really good, especially for fragrances that are citrusy. Because I gotta tell you guys, citrus fragrances they're lovable, but they're also highly polarizing, depending on who's smelling it. So I'm sure there are tons more ingredients in this fragrance, but the ingredients that Parfumo or that Hermes offer to Parfumo, and I'm noticing this a lot, like brands are only focusing on 3 ingredients out of like multiple. But this fragrance is all about citron, juniper berry, and Sichuan pepper. And the thing I notice about Eau de Vrai is it definitely has a bubbly character to it. It has a effervescence about it. It comes across very bubbly and fresh, and that definitely has a lot to do with the citron and the juniper berry. Juniper berry definitely, juniper berry is used to, juniper berry creates gin. So, yes. So, a very, very beautiful experience, spicy, fruity, refined. An amazing experience. I love the fact also that it lasts longer than the original Eau Très Fraîche. And let me show you that. So Eau Très Fraîche, look at that, much less longevity, still a high rating. I gotta tell you, I love Eau Très Fraîche. It's just a lot more business though. But Eau de Vrai, and some people feel like this fragrance is a great alternative for Isola Blue, which is the new oligarch by Roger Parfum. And look at the rating for this particular fragrance, guys. 8.9 out of 10 in the top 5 fragrances on the entire website of Parfumo.net. One of the top 5 highest rated fragrances on the entire site of Parfumo.net. I gotta say, Isola Blue, I love it, I like it. I don't know if I would rate it that high. I really don't. And that's probably because, like, I don't know, like, I feel like Isola Blue is unique to a lot of people, but I smelled an Armand fragrance way back in the day, that was like less than $50 that reminds me of this particular scent. So when I smell Isola Blue, I can't imagine spending the price point because it just reminds me of that scent from Armand, which is like a clone house. And so I was like, I don't know. But I gotta tell you, Isola Blue, you get that, you can, it's definitely not the scent that I'm talking about from Armand. It just smells very similar to it, which messes up my perception of it, of Isola Blue. But I really feel like Isola Blue is a great fragrance, and I just found it fascinating that so many people feel like it's very, very similar to OG Vrai Terre d'Hermes. Fascinating stuff. Anyway, guys, I want to also share with you a new fragrance that just launched over the last, I would say, couple of months. And I'm really, really excited to talk about this fragrance. I have not tried it on my skin. I have heard things about it, so I know what ingredients are in it, and I understand that it's definitely a fragrance that you can wear in the heat. But it's from the house of Guerlain, and that fragrance is L'Homme Ideal Platinum Prive. L'Homme Ideal Platinum Prive by Guerlain. Oh man. I'm excited to try this fragrance. I really, really wanted to try like the Habit Rouge Privé also. I haven't gotten my nose on that. I haven't gotten my nose on this. So we're gonna smell this together. Well, you're not gonna be able to smell it with me. Why do I always feel like you all are in the room with me when I'm smelling things? That's so funny. Kind of psycho I got, right? I guess, but wow, look at that sprayer, guys. I love that sprayer. Okay, wow. Wow. L'Homme Ideal Platinum Privé. Wow. Um, Platine, not platinum. Oh man, I'm so Platine. Wow. Platine Privé is the name of the fragrance. Um, wow. Wow, guys. Wow. Okay. I gotta tell you, I like the way it smells in the air. I like the way it smells on blotter. I gotta put this on. Perfect. I have nothing on this hand. Let it waft. Guys, when you spray fragrances on yourself, give it at least 10 to 20 seconds to dry down a little bit before you put it to your nose. This will help your nose be able to smell other fragrances after you spray that one. When you're spraying on blotters, when you're spraying on skin, you want to wait at least 10 to 20 seconds before you put it to your nose so you don't affect your sense of smell going forward from that. Really, really important advice to take note of. Okay, now the moment of truth. L'Homme Ideal Platine Privé. Yeah, that's that's good. That's real good. That's real good, guys. Yes. 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 Guerlain has been Guerlain has been on a roll lately, guys. Wow. Guerlain has been definitely on a roll. Wow. It's very impressive. It's Very, very impressive, guys. Wow. Wow. Okay. When I smell this fragrance, it's fresh. It's it kind of reminds me a little bit of Caron Sport. The difference, this doesn't have a classic. Remember I mentioned how Caron Sport has like 1 foot in the classic lane and 1 foot in the modern lane? This fragrance is more modern than classic or refined, which is interesting because a lot of people feel like Guerlain perfumes come across very mature, very old school, very French, right? I gotta tell you, all those things are true. I do feel though that the L'Homme Ideal collection of fragrances were definitely made to appeal to a younger guy or girl who likes masculine leaning fragrances. Um, it doesn't come across as classic as a lot of Guerlain fragrances do. This this is very attractive. I feel like a lot of people are gonna love this and love the way it smells. So let me share with you guys the ingredient list of this fragrance. This fragrance has grapefruit, green almond, pink pepper, and Haitian vetiver. I definitely noticed the grapefruit right off the bat. Is it as natural? Well, is it as mouth watering as Light Blue Forever or even OG Vray? Not quite. This fragrance is more refreshing, but not juicy, I would say. You know, the pink pepper in this fragrance is killing me. In a good way, by the way. I really, really love pink pepper, and especially I love pink pepper in fragrances that are fresh because it just adds a really awesome airiness and spice to a fragrance. And it just comes across very, very unique and interesting, very modern. I love the scent of pink pepper. It's one of my favorite spices in perfume, and I really love the way it smells in Platine Prive. Wow. It really smells really attractive. It's a very, I would say, it's not a complicated fragrance. Like, I don't see people smelling this and thinking, like, what was I thinking? It's a little too much. Like, this is a fragrance that I feel like is a lot more easy breezy. It's palatable. Oh, man. I really like it. I really, really like it. Oh, does this fragrance get the womp womp or the lady? Oh my God. Here, you let me know. Oh, yes. Yes, sir, guys. This fragrance is definitely getting the lady all day long. It is insane. It is insane. It's beautiful. Not crazy, not weird. I guess you could say this is not like a niche style fragrance. Like it doesn't come across like like it doesn't come across like out of the ordinary. There's nothing out of the ordinary about Platine Privé, right? But although it kind of has a similar experience, a similar style to Caron Sport, it doesn't smell like what you'll smell everywhere. This is definitely a more unique experience of citrus than most brands offer. I like it. I really, really like it. I mean, if I were to, it's working on my skin. Of course, I need to wear it. I need to like live in it. I can't really talk about how long it lasts or how intense it is or, what it does, how it changes. But what I can speak to is that opening is really, 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 really attractive. Very easy to compliment. Like if I smelled this on someone, I would be like, "What you wearing? What you got on? Cause you smell good. Damn." You know? That's on point. Wow. Really, really, really good stuff. Um, Definitely getting the lady. Let's see her again. Come on now. Oh no. Great, great fragrance, guys. Definitely worth considering, worth your time. Absolutely good stuff. So yeah, guys, let's see what you all been talking about. Let's see. Atelier Cologne does do an amazing fruit, the grapefruit. I gotta tell you though, famous YouTuber. So you're talking about Pomelo Paradis. So Pomelo Paradis, a lot of people feel like it doesn't last, right? Maybe I'm spraying it a certain way, but I noticed that when I spray Pomelo Paradis on clothing and skin, I can smell it 6 to 7 hours into the day. And I worked with that fragrance and I wore that fragrance a lot. I layered it with a few things. I gotta tell you though, some people find that fragrance like this off your skin. I kind of showered in it. I would spray it like 8 to 10 times everywhere, including clothing, my collars, sleeves, wrists, everywhere. I sprayed that fragrance insanely. But I do have to say, it stayed on me. I don't know if it's because you're spraying it on your skin only and not on your clothing, but I spray clothes and skin and I get at least 6 to 8 hours out of that fragrance. So I would consider spraying it a certain way and you might get a better result. Out of the park, loved OG Vray. Great taste, my man, because that fragrance is, whoo. E was good, sir. I'm very blessed, Papa Bear. I hope you're doing great also, man. What fragrances are you wearing today? Like, what's your scent of the day? I'm curious. And Verdo Esco, does it get the lady? Yes, sir, it definitely does. Um, Guys, what are the fragrances that you've been wearing? What fragrances are you planning to wear in the summer? Like, what's your summer experiences? Please let me know. I'd love to hear it. Click like when I upload this video, please come back and leave a comment in the comment section. I'm really curious what you all are wearing, and I'm really curious what you all are scheming on in terms of like your next purchases for the heat. I've been thinking about getting the lime fragrance from Goldfield and Banks. I've been thinking about a couple of Bow fragrances, which is a very cool Mexican brand. They have a fragrance called Espiritu, which I am very into. I might talk about them I might talk about them really soon. Also, it's the time to talk about Bow because it's the heat. You know, you definitely want to wear Bow when it's warm. You know, I feel like because it's a Mexican brand, they definitely made fragrances for Mexican weather, and it will sparkle in the heat. Uh, Initio Rehab, go off, Papa. That's really good. Initio Rehab. You know what I sprayed on me? Speaking of Initio, I sprayed Must Therapy this morning, and I was like, I kept, I still have it on my hand. I sprayed it this morning, and I still smell it. You know, this is going at least 8 hours into the day. Like this fragrance is still there, although it's very powdery and soft. Yeah, Rehab is really really good, guys. It's definitely more. It leans in the prettier realm, but I think a guy could easily wear it. It's really really good. Initial Rehab. Yeah, I could see how you're wearing that fragrance. Rehab is like Spice Bomb times 10. You know, Spice Bomb amped up. It's kind of like uh, it kind of reminds me of like like Shea Bond. I forgot. Is it Shea Bond that smells just like that Alfred Dunhill fragrance in the red bottle? That dynamic, guys. Oh God. Anyway, yeah, Bond did a lot of sketchy stuff when it comes to that collection of fragrances, allegedly. Gotta say allegedly when it comes to Bond, or you'll get caught. um, Yeah, there's like a few fragrances that we're going to be talking about next week. I'm really, really thinking about trying to finish up my um, favorite niche fragrances that are well priced. I'm doing a list of fragrances that I definitely want you all to consider because a lot of times I think a lot of people feel like if you're buying niche, you're gonna have to like really kill your pocket, which is not necessary. You don't have to buy 100 ml bottles of the most expensive fragrance lines. You don't have to, you know. To own perfumes do not cost a lot. You know, you don't have to spend a lot to smell like you spent a lot, you know. And that's the goal of the web of this channel to give you guys options that allow you to smell expensive, exclusive, not common, and amazing. I am really, really excited for that video though, because I've been collecting lists of brands that I think are some of the best values in the world of fragrance without question. So check that out. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, so I don't think it was Shea Bond. I'm actually trying to think like, was it Shea Bond? No, I cannot remember which it was, but I know for sure that it reminds me so much of that Dunhill fragrance. If I could just find it real quick, I would really love to share it with you all. But I'm likely not going to be able to find it. Yeah, likely not. But it's all great. So guys, like, are any of you in Brooklyn? Are any of you in New York, Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, Staten Island? I would love to meet you all. I'm in Bergdorf, Goodman. I'm here Wednesdays through Sundays usually between 11 and 7. And it would be an absolute honor to meet many, many more of you. I've met so many so far, and I'm so grateful. People take time out of their day to come and say hello, and I'm really, really excited to meet more of you. So please come by, please say hello. Definitely check me out during the days that I'm here. If you'd like to know when we can connect, if you'd like to make an appointment to hang out with me for an hour, just email me at el-aton, and I'll give you an amazing tour at Bergdorf Goodman and show you where the hidden gems are in this store. And boy, are there some amazing hidden gems in this store. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out this live. I'm really, really grateful. Please, please, please hit the like button on your way out before I close this off. And if you can, come back and leave a comment in the comment section of what your favorite summer fragrances are, what your favorite grapefruit fragrances, what your favorite citrus fragrances are. I am very, very excited to hear about it, you know, and to read about it. And if you have some suggestions that I don't know about that you think I need to know about, again, please let me know in the comment section what I need to get my nose on ASAP. Guys, again, it was a pleasure to check you out. It was a pleasure to check you out. It was a pleasure to be here with you all. I hope you've all had an amazing day, and I really, really am grateful for you all checking out this live. Have an awesome evening, and I'll be seeing you all next week live from Bergdorf like this week. Be safe, guys. I'm that cologne guy E, and this is what? Simply put, sense. Nam O-U-T. Peace. Now watch me take all this time to close this off. Peace, guys.